We got T.Mills on the phone. What's up, buddy?
Man, I'm chilling. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Now, you got this new song. Before we talk about that, though, so I followed you on Twitter, and you retweeted one of my tweets, and I got about 9,000 replies. So if you don't mind, I want to run through a couple of questions that popped up from some of your fans.
Okay.
All right? Now, these are random.
I'm scared. I'm really scared
And
right
you
now.
very well should be.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. This is, let's see here. Are you happy with your accomplishments? What is your ambition and what made you thrive? That comes from Roxana Padilla.
Ooh, that's good. That's a very good question. All right, I'm going to try to answer this in a couple parts. Yes, I'm extremely happy with my accomplishments. I'm super grateful for everything that I've been able to do. What was the second part?
The second part of her question was, what is your ambition and what made you thrive?
Oh, wow. I
know these are some intelligent
a high school
questions.
Guidance counselor or my grandparents.
No kidding.
My ambitions, man. Honestly, I like to challenge myself. So I just every day I try to be better than I was, the day before. Whether that's taking care of myself on the road, I want to make sure that my live show is, the best of my ability. I've been taking crazy vocal lessons and just making better songs, man. This album I've been working on is incredible. Just pushing myself. I don't ever like to get too comfortable. And what makes me thrive, I feel like the people around me, people who you surround yourself with is who makes you thrive. You're like a product of your environment. So if you're hanging out with, people who don't really have any drive or ambition, you're going to become subject to that. So it's all, like I always make sure I'm not the smartest person in the room ever. And if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
That is great. That is advice everybody can use.
Yeah, I feel like Tony Robbins up in here. You know what I mean?
We're talking to T.Mills. You got a new, the new single's called All I Want to Do. I love the video.
Thank you, man. It was a lot of fun to shoot too. Everyone that was a part of it, we had a great time.
I think the hook is what gets me. It's just
so.
stuck in my head and it can't get out.
Point.
T.Mills, so you made your debut Warped Tour. Is that how you got started or got recognition? I should say is Warped Tour.
You know what? I made a MySpace page. I got a MacBook. I made a MySpace page. And
MySpace? What's that?
Man,
I kid.
It was like the end of the MySpace era. It was like I got in right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a MySpace page. I put some songs up, and my friend was a sponsor on the Warped Tour. And he was like, "Yo, dude, you want to come out and sell T-shirts for me? And I'll let you play in my tent every day." I wasn't even on the tour. And I was just like, yeah, I was, 20 years old. I grabbed my laptop. I hopped on a tour bus by myself, and I sold T-shirts, and I played in a tent every single day. So my, 60 shows. And it was cool because I got to meet everyone, in the very, very beginning stages that was listening to the songs on MySpace. And I was burning my own CDs off of my computer and selling them after my set. And so it was a very humbling experience. And then I actually got to do that tour 3 years later, and, I got to have my full band with me. I had my own tour bus. I had all my homies there. I brought my dad out on the road. So it was cool to see that progression, going from, by myself hustling, just working so I could sleep, in a bunk, and then to having my own bus and everything. It was really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Are there any artists on the Warped Tour that blew your mind when you met them?
That blew my.
Yeah.
I would have to say No Effects.
There you go.
They're just they're crazy dudes, and they know how to party. They're cool.
That is awesome. T.Mills is on the phone with us. Thank you for calling in today. You got that new album, or the new record rather, called All I Want to Do. We're going to play that in just a couple of minutes, but I want to ask you a really weird question. This came up actually with conversation with my family in regards to getting your ears gauged, and you did that for the longest time, and then you got them reattached. What made you? Why did you do that?
Well, I had them for almost 9 years. I had my ears pierced when I was 14, and I started stretching them slowly.
Yeah.
And then one day I woke up and they were super huge. And then last year I just got tired of it, man. Taking them out and the maintenance and I don't know. I was just like, yo, I'm over it, and it's time for something new. And I closed them up, and I've honestly never been happier. It's just it's weird to say, but it's nice to have just normal ears again.
Definitely. I know. You know what? I've thought about gauging my ears or stretching them out slowly. I don't have them pierced, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave that to somebody else to do. So instead, I went out and got my lip pierced.
I did all the hard work for you.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
One thing you and I have in common too is tattoos, but you got a hell of a lot more ink than I do.
Oh man, I love them.
The coolest one I think has. Well, how young were you when you started?
I was just about to turn 16. I traded a side. You remember Sidekicks, the phone?
The T-Mobile Sidekick.
Oh yeah, I traded a Sidekick at my friend's house and got tattooed inside of his kitchen.
And then it all started.
That was my first tattoo.
How'd your parents feel about that?
Well, I got it on my thighs. This is like the weirdest place to get a tattoo. I got it on my thighs so that they couldn't see it. Like even like when I was at home and if I was wearing shorts or if I was wearing boxers. So I was able to hide it for like at least a year. But my thing is that I didn't stop getting tattoos. So I just kept getting like tattoos on my legs and on my feet. And my mom, I was taking off my sock when I was like 17, and she saw all my tattoos. She's like, "What are those?" I was like, "Mom, I've had them for a year. It doesn't change who I am. I still love you." And to my surprise, she was really cool with it, and they accepted it.
Jesus, I got a tattoo when I was my first tattoo at 21, and I thought I'd never live it down.
Oh man, yeah, my parents were actually really cool about it, and I was surprised because I was the first one in my family, to get tattooed.
I feel like if you took your dad on Warped Tour with you, that just speaks volumes for how awesome your parents are.
Man, my dad is so awesome. He was supposed to come out for like 5 days. He ended up staying for I think it was 2.5 weeks. My mom was calling me like, "You need to send your dad home right now.
His vacation is over."
Yeah.
What's your most meaningful tattoo?
My great-grandmother passed away last year, and her favorite animal was elephants. So I got a huge portrait of an elephant on my whole left leg, and then my power animal is a giraffe, probably because I'm so tall. So I got a portrait of a giraffe tattooed right next to it, so me and my great-grandmother could, kind of be together.
That's pretty awesome. That's the best tattoos are things that have meaning, not just, you show up to a tattoo shop or whatever and you're like, "Hey, I want that one right there." When you actually have meaning to it, I think that speaks volumes.
It's a special one to me.
Here's another question from Twitter. We're talking to T.Mills. He's got a new record out called All I Want to Do. Next album will be... Well, that's not the question I want. Let's skip that question and go to this one. This girl, her name is Captain SS. Sapphira Slaughter says, when the hell are we getting married? I got to imagine you get a lot of response like that on Twitter.
I do. I think it requires us meeting face-to-face first, though.
There you go. All right, and I know she's listening, so there's her answer. So now she can Twitter stalk you and not Twitter stalk me anymore.
Come to a show and propose, and, we'll talk about it.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce your new record?
Yo, this is T.Mills, and you are about to listen to my brand new song, All I Want to Do. Let's go.
Beautiful. And we'll do part 2 really quick, if that's cool.
Yeah, of course.
Let's see here. What did I have written down here? I literally walked in the studio 2 seconds before you called. I was like, maybe he'll call a couple of minutes late. All right, here we go. You ready? This is another question from... We got T-Mills on the phone. This is another question from Twitter. At Nana Sai. She says, "Why is 48 your number?"
48... Well, first of all, hey, Nana Sai. She always tweets me. I love her. She's awesome. 48 was my hockey number when I was a kid. I played a lot of ice hockey, and it was my baseball number. I played baseball, too, a little bit. So that number's just stuck with me since I was a little... I don't know. I just loved it ever since I was a kid. So
does that make you a Kings fan?
Now, yes. Now check it out. I was a Ducks fan when I was growing up.
There you go.
And I actually got to have breakfast with the Mighty Ducks when I was 10 years old, and that will forever be in my memories of greatest hockey memories ever. And I got to skate with Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya, and that was a lot of fun. But go Kings, man! I'm super happy for them.
See, being a Blackhawks fan.
Okay, hey.
You know what? I'd say
Blackhawks.
I'll say that.
I mainly liked them for their jerseys, though. I thought they had the sickest jerseys.
Yeah, you know what though? If they're gonna lose, if the team that beats them wins the Stanley Cup, I think I'm okay with that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
As long as it's not like St. Louis, even though I live in Missouri now. Even though it's but I'll give it to the Kings. They deserve it.
Yeah, give it to them one time.
So what you got? You got a tour coming up. You got any shows that you want to talk about?
I do, man. I'm going out with this band Rixton. They're amazing dudes. They're from the UK. It's called the Broken Heart Tour. It's all of the U.S. and Canada. It's about a month long, and that starts July 30th. At the end of July, the tour starts in Boston, and we'll be making our way around the whole country. And the tour actually ends in L.A. Where I live. We're playing 2 shows in L.A. And yeah, man, I'm super excited. I love touring. I just got off a 2-month tour when I dropped my All I Want to Do EP. I was like 47 shows, and I've been home for about a month, and I can't wait to go back out again. That's where I feel like the most comfortable is on the road. If I'm home too long, I go crazy.
Cabin fever, kind of.
Yeah, a little bit.
One more question from Twitter. If you could improve your music in any way, how would you do it?
Improve my music in any way? Oh, man.
We're coming out. I'm like Brian Williams over here.
If I could improve my music in any way, I would probably get a verse from Andre 3000.
Look at that. I love that.
Yeah. If that could happen, I think that would be incredible.
Is there anybody that you're dying to work with right now, like one specific artist that you really want to collaborate with or share a stage with?
Oh, you know who? I think it would be really cool to tour with, like, Iggy. I think me and Iggy Azalea could do a really cool tour together. I'm trying to think. I love Sam Smith. He's awesome. Trying to think. The homies Wiz and Ty, I love them too. They're about to go out on tour. I'm going to probably go check that out. There's just so much good music out right now, man.
I'm glad you brought up Iggy Azalea because I have a very important question that I need you to answer.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, Iggy Azalea or Nicki Minaj?
Woo! First of all, I would pay to see that fight. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That'd be a tough one. I feel like Nicki would have the upper hand, but I feel like Iggy Azalea would probably fight dirty if she had to.
I was gonna say I feel like Nicki would have the upper hand, but Iggy's gonna like scrap it out. You know what I mean?
She'll pull hair. She'll yank weaves.
She's gonna Rocky that whole situation.
T-Mills is on the phone. Go ahead and plug your Twitter and any social media. People can link up to you on iTunes, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at I Love T-Mills, T-M-I-L-L-S. If you want to look at my pictures all day on Instagram, at T-Mills. Facebook.com/I Love T-Mills. If you go on the internet, type in T-M-I-L-L-S, I'm going to pop up, so you can hit me up there. Go on iTunes right now and get that All I Want to Do EP. Type in T-Mills, All I Want to Do, and that's going to pop up for you.
Thank you, man. You've been awesome. We appreciate you calling in tonight.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, man. I hope to see you guys soon.